All right. There we go. We are back. All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Hello there one more time. We are back up and running once again. And that was something. That was definitely something. So hopefully if you guys are watching here, we are back. It is Ministravaganza Day 3. But yeah, that was a little bit funny. We had some problems. How many of you guys were sticking there? Did it? I don't know if you were watching before, if it just kicked into the same stream, or if you had to like refresh and get a whole new one. But I had a little hiccup with the stream, and it wouldn't start up again for me. So. But yes, all right, so let's recap. If we get up to 300 viewers, we're going to do a big surprise giveaway. And so you definitely share this out with your friends. We want to get as many people watching the big surprise as possible. Share in your communities and just let everybody know. If we can get up to 300, we'll have some super awesome giveaways. And also, we had just gotten a new channel member, but right as the stream went down, so if I didn't get to you, I apologize. But yeah, so we were talking about some of your guys' predictions on what they're going to show. What we do know is it's a painting stream. What we also know is it's something for the future, so it's not something that we've seen already. We also know that it's Star Wars based. They did not specify that it was going to be something specific to Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, or Armada. They didn't say what game, so it might be something that is an all-new game completely. It is definitely a possibility. And I think that would be a great way to kind of tease us for an all-new game. It may be that they want to show us miniatures for an all-new game and get us excited, and then maybe wait until Gen Con, perhaps, to have the next reveal. I think that it would be something that I would potentially do. I think that'd be really fun, a fun way to build hype and see what people think of the miniatures. And but I think you'd also want to have a little more than just painting. Like I definitely hope that there is some gameplay or at least some discussion of a new game, if that's the case. But if it's not a new game, and if it's something for one of our existing games, we have a lot of great predictions. I saw some Ahsoka predictions. We definitely saw Ahsoka predictions. I talked about the AT-AT, the AT-AT. We saw those predictions. The Rebels Ghost Crew was another prediction. I think that's definitely a great idea. I see Fat Boy says Commander Cody for Gar. That's definitely something that needs to be in the game. I would love to see Cody show up. I want more named clone troopers to be in the game. I want more Jedi. So I did see a Mace Windu. Exodus says Jango Fett. Yes, and definitely yes. We're getting a lot more Mandalorians in the game, and Jango would be a welcome addition. Especially if there's a way that you can field Jango and Boba together. That would be super awesome. So, what else are we going to do today? Well, we're going to be switching over to the stream. Also, big thanks to today's sponsored Luxury Playstyle. Amazing Full Metal tokens. We have them for both X-Wing, for Legion, other games as well. Head over to Luxury Playstyle. Use code Crabbok VIP to save 15% off of your amazing tokens. They're going to make your game incredibly more fun to play when you have these gorgeous shiny metal tokens that you're using, and you're going to wow all your friends. Tell your stores so that these make amazing tournament support. This way you get them to buy them for you, and then you could just go to the store and play, win them, and then you're good to go. But tell them to use that code to save 15%. All right, so we're about 7 or 8 minutes out from the Star Wars stream full of surprises. If you are just joining us, they are going to be doing something. It's a painting stream. It's going to be something new. I imagine it's going to be something big. Marvel Crisis Protocol just got a bunch of really, really big announcements, like between last night and today, with Sentinels as a faction, and then like these Hydra terrain, like this Hydra tank is in there, and all this really, really big stuff. And so that's pretty interesting. And so like maybe they're doing similar big terrain type stuff for Star Wars. They've definitely done more terrain for Marvel Crisis Protocol than they have for Star Wars, and I wonder if now that AMG is doing it, they're going to do similar types of just terrain packs. And that might be why they didn't say it was specifically for Star Wars Legion, because a terrain pack you could do for anything. You could do it for a Star Wars RPG if you wanted. You could do it for any of them. So if you're hanging out here, it is we are just going to be watching the stream also. So we're going to hype it up. We're going to talk about it. We're going to throw our guesses in. We're going to watch their stream. And then once it comes time, once their stream is over, we're going to come back here, talk about what we just saw, and kind of recap. And so that's what all of this is about. Clearly, it's a new paint deal for AMG Minis. It could be paint. That's so. Kendall says new paint. I mean, I don't think so. I thought this at one point. Like, that doesn't seem like that seems like a realistic guess, right? But there is problems with something like that, in that it becomes very, very different. If they're making their own paints, then they have to have doing miniatures and cards is one thing, but doing paints, you have chemicals, and you have to like mix and match chemicals, and storing and shipping chemicals is very different than just like sprues. So, like, I feel like that's why FFG never did that. They went with somebody who's already a paint company. They went with Army Painter and just did like a licensing branding kind of deal. And so I mean, granted, they could do something like that with AMG. It could just be a new paint line or something. But here's another reason why I don't think that's the case. Because if they were going to do that, then I think they would have done that as the first stream for Ministravaganza. And then the whole rest of the con, whenever they're doing their painting stuff, they could be using those new paints, and have better advertising. So I think that's probably more likely the case. So Jeff says, if it's not Armada related, I'll be disappointed. You won't get ready to be disappointed. It may not be Armada related, but maybe it is. And wouldn't that be an amazing surprise? Like if they pulled out a Lucre Hulk or something like that. Wouldn't that be amazing if they just showed a new ship for X-Wing or Armada? Maybe a huge ship for X-Wing, right? Because there was, we got the huge ship for the Separatists, and we never got the huge ship for the Republic. So there's definitely like a giant hole in X-Wing's huge epic game, space. But I also don't think it's going to be an X-Wing stream, because the very next stream is also an X-Wing stream where they're going to be doing X-Wing hobbying. And so I don't think they would have two X-Wing hobby/paint kind of streams back to back. So I think Armada is certainly possible in terms of the schedule, but I also think that if it was Armada, then wouldn't they have just listed it as an Armada stream? Or maybe they're afraid that if they say it's an Armada stream, they might get less viewers because the Legion and X-Wing people might not tune in. And so maybe just by saying it's a Star Wars stream, maybe if it's something incredible for Armada, everybody else will be like, oh, that's cool. But here's another question. Here's another thought. What if it's something like space stations? What if it's a space station that could be used in both X-Wing and Armada, and it has like cards and rules for both games in one pack? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool, right? So that's an idea. That is an idea. We're going to be switching over to the stream right now. You can see that that they're finishing up their Marvel Crisis Protocol stream right now, and we will be switching over to the Full of Surprises, a Star Wars stream, in about 3 or 4 minutes, as soon as they kick things off and start. Now, if we look at the name Full of Surprises, right, it kind of, it might give you some hints, because first off, that line is from The Empire Strikes Back. It's something Luke Skywalker says to Darth Vader. And I think that should be, I mean, it might just, it could be two different ways we could take that. It's a good name for the stream. That's going to be a surprise, of course. But also that could be a deeper dive. Like maybe it's related to Empire Strikes Back in some way. But the thing is, here's why I think it's an AT-AT, AT-AT, is that was from Empire Strikes Back, right? We first saw AT-ATs there. But also, there are AT-ATs on Endor. And since next year, anything they announce now is probably not coming out until next year. What if it turns out that we are getting an AT-AT next year to have on our terrain as we're doing like these Legion battles and stuff like that, with the Ewoks and Return of the Jedi anniversary. I think it's possible. Let's go to some of your guys' comments. Let's see what we see here. Jeff says space stations would be awesome. Yeah, I think that'd be very, very cool. You have my attention for both X-Wing and Armada, says Christian. Yes. Wolfie says new Armada starter boxes for Empire and Rebel. That would be really cool, but I don't know if that would be... Unless there's new ships in there, because this is a painting stream, so they're not going to paint the box. It'd have to be a new ship or some kind of new plastic that they're going to be painting. Or a new game, bigger scale than Legion. Bigger scale, like... Well, a different scale than Legion. I think if they do a new game, it will either be... The miniatures will be physically larger, so like you're looking at dudes that might be like Disney Infinity kind of size or bigger, so you can really, really paint... like the pupils and stuff like that with a lot more ease. You'd be painting like fingernail grit in some of your minis, so that would be like a minis kind of real close in size to each other. But then again, there's also the possibility of going to smaller scale. What if we open it up and they're painting an AT-AT that's only like this big, right? Like that's only like this big, right? What if it's a real small AT-AT, and that means we're getting a massive kind of Legion-esque game where you're actually doing the Battle of Hoth or the Battle of Crate? What if that were the case? That is definitely possible. It's 4 o'clock. They're going to be starting any second now. If we get up to 300 viewers, we are going to do a massive giveaway at the end of the stream. So make sure it's going to be tons of promos, maybe for multiple games. We'll have to see. So make sure you're sharing this stream. We're going to be doing fun stuff. There's also some giveaways currently going on in Discord. So if you guys aren't already in Discord, check the link in the description below. You can head over there right now and jump in. We have a giveaways channel in there. You just react with the double crit emoji and have a chance to win. It will actually ping you if you win. We are going to be switching over to a moment when they kick off that full of surprises stream. It is not quite live yet, but it is about to be going live, so we will be watching that. And the hype is real, folks. Some kind of surprise, Star Wars related. A Flames of War 15mm Star Wars style games, Kevin says. Yeah, absolutely. That's a definite possibility. Who knows? I think they'll want to do something that you can really focus on painting and paint really fun. I would love a smaller style game to get like a 10mm, 15mm game to get really, really big battles. I want to have a force with like four Imperial walkers. I'd love to do that. I'd love, and Chris says Armada. I don't want, I would love it, and that would be amazing. I don't want to get my hopes up for that, but who knows? I would love it if they would have just said something about Armada, like, hey, Armada is officially back in development or something like that. Even though we kind of did just get some stuff, we did just get rapid reinforcements for Armada, but I don't know. Also, same thing with X-Wing huge ships. We didn't get much about that. It looks like the future for X-Wing is just going to be the reprints of existing ships, and then the different scenario packs and card packs, which is cool. But I know a lot of people are going to be wanting all new ships. Maybe this is their way of kind of introducing us to what they're going to do for new ships. That's definitely possible. A lightsaber dueling game. Yeah, it's called, get the Hasbro Black Series lightsabers and duel each other. It would be actually pretty cool if it was like a Jedi battles, like specifically Jedi characters with lightsabers and like some type of dueling game like that. Star Wars Crisis Protocol. That's kind of what X-Wing is turning into with the quick builds, kind of. I think it's the standard loadouts. You just have to pick one ship and go, and you pick a couple of them, and you've got objectives and stuff. So I feel like X-Wing is kind of the Star Wars Crisis Protocol type of game, at least in space. It's possible. Let's see. A life-size Han Solo sculpt. Paladin says, you really want to kill team using existing minis? That's a possibility. That would be kind of in the department of a new game, right? But I don't think a new game from AMG will be that too close to Legion, X-Wing, or Armada, just because it's they were developing this before those games. Like, they were developing game number 2 before the changeover, before FFG still existed. FFG still does exist, but while FFG still had Legion, Armada, and X-Wing. So I feel like whatever they're working on, if it's Star Wars, it will be a departure from the games that we have already. Is there a giveaway happening? We currently have a lightsaber giveaway going on. That's going on until the end of August. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment. And if we hit 300, we're already 253, so we are well on our way. If we get 300 viewers, we are going to be doing another giveaway at the end of the stream. So make sure you stay till the end. We're going to be doing more. Lots more. So that's very, very cool, exciting. This is about to start. As soon as it does start, we'll be switching over. So again, I don't know if it's going to be something Legion related, Armada related, or X-Wing related. Masters of Terras Kasi, Lumberjack Nick says, that's a great suggestion. Would love to see a Masters of Terras Kasi game. If you guys are old like me, you might remember the old PlayStation game, Masters of Terras Kasi. Really fun game for its day, although I probably didn't age that well. But I still beloved. I still love it. A sequel trilogy skirmish course set. That's a possibility. I don't know if the demand is high enough for that right now, but I welcome all of that stuff. Even the sequel trilogy with all of its flaws, because I think all of our hobbies have their own flaws, and that's part of what makes us fans, is embracing them when sometimes with the flaws and all, because hey, nobody's perfect, and I think a lot of Star Wars content gets better over time, and they're getting ready to start. They are getting ready. It is going to be kicking off any second now. They're launching it, but they're not live yet. So we're giving them a few more minutes. I know they know they have us. They know they have us like on the cusp of greatness. Any moment now. We're getting closer to 300 viewers. We're going to be doing some giveaways if we hit 300. So stay tuned for that. We're 273. We're getting higher and higher. Very, very cool. Thank you guys for sharing it out. You guys are fantastic. So thank you for the support. I'm super hyped right now. I have no idea what we're getting. I really hope it's a new game. Nothing, but I have a lot of hopes. I would love for it to be something Armada related. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think a huge ship for X-Wing would be, welcome. The Republic never got that huge ship, so yeah, they could really use it. They could really use it. Clone Commandos, yes, the Clone Commandos definitely a possibility. I think they're getting ready to start. So as soon as they do kick things off, we'll be doing it. They have officially loaded the stream, but they're not doing anything with it just yet. Let's check. Okay, we still kind of got that loading screen. Okay. As soon as they kick things off, I'll be shutting up. I'll be switching over, and we'll watch together and share in our hype. So I'm very, very excited. Keep your predictions rolling in chat. I've heard Ahsoka. We've heard Mace Windu. I think Ahsoka would be a great, a great miniature worthy of her own stream. And maybe that's exactly what it is. But I really think it's something huge and fabulous, like an AT-AT or an AT-AT. I think AMG would just be the kind of crazy crew to be painting a massive AT-AT. I think they would love to do that. And Gungan Battle Force mats. Oh my gosh! If it's Gungans, I might not come back from after the break. I may pass out in my chair. We're at 286. Oh man, we are getting there. Yeah, no. If it's a Gungan army, I'm gonna be all right. I'll tell you this: if it's Gungans, I'm gonna double the giveaway. I'm going to double the giveaway after this, even if we don't hit 300. We're almost there, too. Wow, that's fantastic. So, yeah, if it's Gungans, we're going to do 2 giveaways because I don't think it'll be Gungans. But we are almost at 300, so keep sharing this out. You guys are doing fantastic. Thank you for the support. This is a super exciting day. This is the one stream I have been most excited about, and we are almost there. They're going to be starting any moment now. Any moment it is there. Here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to almost my last panel of Ministravaganza. I got one more with closing ceremonies. Woo, woo! It's been an amazing 3 days, and this one's going to be pretty exciting. We're full of surprises here. At least we were. If you were with us on Monday evening, Dallas might have spoiled one of the surprises a little bit during the hobby hang accidentally. So maybe it's not as surprising as it would have been. But I'm very excited because I have 2 brand new characters for Star Wars Legion to show you off today. We're going to be putting some paint on them. These are characters that we've seen a lot of interest in, a lot of questions asked about. The first one, of course, we teased at last Ministravaganza. That is Ahsoka Tano. You're finally going to find out which version of Ahsoka is coming to Legion first. Spoilers, it is Fulcrum from Rebels. So this is going to be the Rebellion version of Ahsoka as an operative. We're going to be starting with her, and then probably after that, you can't have an Ahsoka without an Asajj. I've got Asajj Ventress as well, who's coming for the Separatist Alliance. We're going to look at her miniature for the first time ever, and we'll talk very briefly about kind of what these characters are poised to do, how they fit into their factions in the game. But overall, this is just kind of like a first reveal look at the characters themselves, so we're not going to go super deep into any kind of rule spoilers or anything like that. So if nothing else, you can take a look at what's coming, and we will jump in and start getting some paint on them, because they deserve to be painted. So I've got Ahsoka up first. Very first thing I want to do is kind of find my colors. Maybe a wolf gray or something. Not a ghost gray. That's not blue enough. There we go. Somber gray. This will work well. All right, so both these characters will be coming out a little later next year, so look for them in like Q2 currently, I think there. So this is a pretty, this is a very far-reaching preview in some ways, which is why it's a surprise. And of course, they're so far in the future that you'll notice that these little lightsabers quite aren't straight, and that's because this is actually a resin Paint Master copy. So a lot of the miniatures that we actually paint for the box, because they're done well before the plastic is even ready, they're done in resin. So we do resin masters of the miniatures, which get the paint on them, and that typically means that, you know, things that are done really well in hard plastic, like lightsabers, may not always turn out perfectly in resin. So forgive the little bendiness, that is just due to the material, but if we didn't show off them in the resin, then you wouldn't get to see them at all. So I think like it's a fair trade. I'm just going to start here with some somber gray. I'm going to start knocking out some colors on Ahsoka, doing her under tunic basically first. So we're going to get in here, get the somber gray going. Bloop. But both Ahsoka and Asajj were pretty fun and interesting to do together. They have some pretty strong parallels to each other in terms of their fighting style. They both use Jarakai Mastery. They both have the double lightsabers, so their melee attack pools are gross. They utilize dodge tokens pretty heavily with that as well. All right, her gloves are also this little gray color. Come back in here and fix it, Summer. This Ahsoka is not compatible with Galactic Republic because this is Ahsoka when she's working with the Rebellion, at least with the very early stages of the Rebellion. Don't worry, don't fret. There's plenty more Ahsoka action on the way. So even though Rebellion Ahsoka is first, you will see Republic Ahsoka and probably Ahsoka's, because there's so much good ground to cover there between her Padawan days, between her Commander days. We're going to see Ahsoka appearing in a couple different spots. This Ahsoka is not the Mandalorian Ahsoka. That Ahsoka is a lot older. This one was definitely completely based off of her appearance in Rebels, her abilities, her command cards, all that stuff. Very much indicative of what we see in that show. So she's not quite the older, wiser, I don't know, I'll put wiser in quotation marks because she seems a little aggressive in The Mandalorian for sure. She's on a mission. And we felt, I mean, and part of the reason that we wanted to start with this version of Ahsoka first is, you know, Republic had just gotten a lot of influx of new units and stuff from Wookiees. And the Kashyyyk wave, we have some other cool stuff on the horizon for the Republic as well. And we just thought it would be a neat addition for the Rebellion army to have a cool version of Ahsoka, and so we decided to go with that first. What else we got? Why would Ventress be in Shadow Collective? I don't know, she wouldn't be. Separatist Alliance. We'll start with S's, I guess. I suppose there's an argument that if she wasn't like Sith Assassin Ventress, maybe as a mercenary bounty hunter, you could try to argue that her inclusion into Shadow Collective might make sense, but I don't think there's anything currently in the Star Wars story to back that up. Who knows? I'd have to dig into it though. Texture on your boots. That's just the spray pattern. There's no actual texture there. It's just the spray pattern of the Zenith. So you're seeing the black and the white speckle. Once we get paint on it, it should be pretty smooth. Should be a pretty smooth. Okay, let's see. Where are we going next? Her leggings are like a brown purple. Okay, we can do that. And we'll take some charred brown and a little bit of this. Nope, that's violet ink. Oh, this royal purple. Let's try that. Make a brown purple here really quick. Do our best to kind of get into it. Boop, 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 doop, boop, doop, boop, boo. Be a fun little test to see how far we can get on. She does have a command card that's titled I Am No Jedi. It is her one pip. So, wish granted. Boop. Sorry. There you go. Do the whole thing. The whole shebang. That reference probably doesn't mean anything to so many people now, because I don't know where you would see that show anymore. Well, that's a little more purple than brown, but we'll fix it later. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to sweat it too much. But each of these characters, both Ahsoka and Asajj, come with 4 command cards. So a little bit of variety. Each of them has a team-up command card. Which allows players to kind of reenact some of the cool moments in the shows. Have a little bit of narrative if you want to run them as operatives alongside their fellows. There's some fun differences between the two as well. So they both use Jurakai. They're both pretty heavily dependent on dodge tokens and dodge token generation. They kind of do things differently. Ahsoka obviously is much more protectory. Asajj is much more murdery. So like I said, they were a fun pair to kind of work on and design together because of their similarities and their differences. Yeah, there's definitely, I think, plenty of room for a more mercenary, like solo Asajj. That was not the version that we wanted to lead with, though. We definitely wanted the very much, the very clearly Asajj that you see in like the Clone Wars movie, which started like the whole show, and then like season 1 and stuff. So she's very much Dooku's apprentice in this version. That's going to hit Legion first. She's very much the Sith assassin, so she believes in the cause. She's kind of all in on it. But absolutely, you know, like with many characters, especially ones that have such good storylines. We talked a little bit about this with The Mandalorian and the Child. Ahsoka and Asajj, they have a couple different iterations that'll be great to get to and very fun to see at some point. No, there's no rules today, so sorry. This is just a very early reveal of the fact that these characters exist. So early, in fact, that I don't even have a real plastic miniature to paint. I'm painting one of the super rare Paint Masters in resin. So but because we kind of teased Ahsoka, especially at last Ministravaganza, we thought it would be pretty fun and timely to show her off in the process of this Ministravaganza. And as an added bonus, because we're full of surprises, we have an Asajj too. It's not really metallic in the show. Tinny tin. Tinny tin tin. I would definitely need shipping details to ship her anywhere. I would also need somebody to definitely remove Simone Elliott from tackling me to the ground as I tried to send this thing anywhere. Because that would definitely not work out well for me. Packs like done. Our little leg things are kind of multicolored, but these are definitely more of the metallic. Yeah, we don't talk about Jade. Kind of like Bruno. I'm not gonna sing the song, but we don't talk about Mara. This part is kind of like this. So there. And then, of course, we got to do these little flappy flap panels. No, I said we don't talk about Mara. We definitely talk about Armada. Dallas talked about Armada when he did the Rapid Reinforcements paint stream. Oh. Yeah, there's absolutely more Galactic Republic stuff coming. There's more Imperial stuff coming. There's more everything. Everybody's going to get stuff. Promise. We've got some really cool things coming for Galactic Republic. They're going to get a brand new commander alongside the wave that includes Asajj and Ahsoka. So you will be seeing some new stuff, and that pack is really cool. It was a lot of fun to play test and develop, but you're going to have to wait to find out what it is. I mean, there's so many different options for commanders in Galactic Republic. You could throw all the names out there, and any of them could be possible. Literally anything is possible. You got all the clone commanders, you got all the Jedis, you got, I don't even know what else. Maybe a new Padme. Can I talk? I mean, clone commandos are pretty cool. They're Dallas's favorite version of clone armor. So I think they're pretty neat. I enjoyed the game. Republic Commando. I wasn't very good at it because I never switched my ICWS blaster pretty appropriately. So, you know, I struggled there, but it was all right. Okay. Well, I'm running out of time. I guess I should probably try to get her face a little colored. We're not even going to get close to finishing this miniature, though. Because I got to get Asajj out. We got to be full of surprises. Or, you know, try to be full of surprises. Let's see, what do I got for Ahsoka face color? It's really orange. Let's see how that goes. I don't have any paint on my brush. It's just water. If you lick the paint, then you've done it real wrong. Real wrong. Does Asajj have hair? No. As a Sith assassin, she wouldn't have hair. I like your spunk that the surprise would be an AT-AT. I mean, we all want it. Everybody's with you. An AT-AT would be magnificent. Not quite there yet, though. Oh, I got a little fuzzy on my poor mini. Oh, well. Oh, well. We'll pick it off later. This is the Rebel version, yep. And this is Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. Fulcrum. So, she is a new Rebel operative. She'll release next year. Here in a second, I'm going to pull out Asajj Ventress, our other full of surprise character. We're going to take a look at her sculpt for the absolute very first time, just like we did with this version of Ahsoka here. Shoulders. I might be able to get most of this like loosely base coated before we like jump away. Yeah, I mean, I think an AT-AT obviously would be super cool. It would probably be a grandiose piece of terrain for most games, and then you'd have to have some kind of like special rules governing it, because obviously it's not going to be able to move along the table in any meaningful way on a 6-foot. But I think that's part of the fun. You know, not everything has to be usable in every standard game. Sometimes it's just cool to have cool things, have options. We'll get there someday. But one of the most fun things about working on Ahsoka for Legion for the very first time was just getting to work with Simone and watch her face light up with like unabashed glee every time we cammed Ahsoka or talked about the pose or brought up artwork. And Preston did an amazing job on all of the card art for her. Her command cards are fantastic. I Am No Jedi being the #1 pip. It's a very cool piece. Awesome scene where she confronts Vader in the Sith temple. Kinda recreated that for the command card art. It's dope. Looks really cool. She will not have multiple pose options. She doesn't have options in general. It's just, this is Ahsoka. It's not really a whole lot of posing you can do. You know, it kind of comes back to the discussion we had about Din Djarin and, you know, the struggles we had in trying to get both the rifle and the blaster pistol pose to work. Your physiology, your anatomy and your physiology, like your pose and everything changes so much based on how you're standing and what you're doing, that we wanted a really strong, we wanted to evoke that strong, confident Ahsoka pose that we see so much in Rebels. Boop-a-doo, boop-a-doo. Okay, so let's go ahead and really quick just loosen this up. Blue marks in there, which kind of mimic the shirt. the tunic thing, just because I kind of want to get close-ish. Finishing her off. Yep, those are blue. Perfect. And let's get over to the second version. Boop. Boop. Go back here and we just kind of like pretend we know what's going on. I think in most of the versions I've seen, she kind of has like little swoopy lines like this. We can make that prettier. Prettier later. I think this was another. All right. Well, we got kind of close. We got 30 minutes left. We're going to move over to Asajj, though. Bow. The rig that I'm using is it's a mic stand. It's literally just a mic stand. It's even got the little like spit cover, which would go here if you were using it as a mic stand, but we use it as a backdrop. But it's just a general mic stand. So there we go. There is Legion Asajj. Again, so far ahead of time that this is a resin master paint copy, so her lightsaber is a little thicker. They didn't bend. They didn't curly Q quite as much. Yep, and that was one of the big things about working on this character and for Legion was that obviously Legion has a much more realistic tone to it. It kind of evokes the scenes from the movies. It's not stylized very heavily. And so we did a lot of work on trying to figure out what that meant for Asajj, who you've only ever really seen from like official Star Wars media stuff in the Clone Wars cartoon. So we had a lot of discussions and back and forth with LFL about the likeness and her face and how her features would be and trying to make her match what we kind of think of when we think of the animated Clone Wars series, but also have that realism to her. Yeah, and the facial markings on Asajj are not sculpted, so if you want those, you just have to use a little bit of patience and steady brush, and you can paint them right on. Oops. So we're just going to start with some Leander's gray and get that kind of bluer tone there, and then we'll come back in and bring it out. I don't remember have much of a reference for her, so remember what is open on the battle dress and what is not. That, and I think she's got this, and then she's got the gloves, right? So I think I'm doing it right. I could stop to look, but what fun would that be? Asajj is a separatist. She is a separatist operative. Ahsoka is a rebellion operative. They're not mercenaries. This is Asajj from the Clone Wars movie and kind of the season 1, well, season 2 before the betrayal happens. So they're she's very much an agent and apprentice of Dooku, a leader of battle droids on her secret missions. That was always funny to me. They always gave the assassin so much command authority in the army. It wasn't very assassin-y. Didn't feel very assassin-y to me. Okay. Violet ink, yes, yes, yes. Not dark blue. There's got to be a purple here somewhere. I feel like there was a purple. Just going with the royal purple. Why not? Seems fine. Do a little bit of that. Do a little bit of this. Hold on, I'm going to pull up my reference here. Blau. Both of the characters are operatives, not commanders. Okay. I'm just mixing up a quick little purple wash, and then we're going to go. Oh, it's pretty strong, but that's okay. That's working like I want here. Let that zenith do a lot of work. One of the things that I really love about this sculpt is it has this great stylized kind of cloth that takes washing and paint so nice. Definitely one of the moves that we're doing. You know, we talked a little bit earlier about flight stands, and the active decision on the Dark Trooper is not to utilize flight stands, but instead to utilize special effects and all of that to. We don't want to do little bandages. To get those miniatures off the ground and into the air. And another really big kind of like movement in terms of just the overall design aesthetics and style is the cloth. Making sure that cloth design is a little bit less soft in terms of its like folds and its texture, and instead doing a little bit more stylization on the miniature side. So those lines are sharper, the folds are sharper, and what that does is, obviously we believe it makes for a better looking miniature at scale, but it also makes painting the cloth much more painter friendly, because you can do things like I'm doing here, where you can hit that cloth with a wash over a zenith, and it really takes the wash well. It really helps define the areas of shadow and light. And it's just very painter friendly. So, you know, you get a much nicer looking miniature on the tabletop because it's easier for the eye to read. It's easier for the painter to paint. Let's see. Bandages, those things, great. Okay, we're doing it right. Yay! I love it when I do it right. This wave's going to be kind of currently scheduled for Q2-ish of next year, spring effectively. So we're pretty far into the future with this preview, which is why it should kind of be surprising as well, because we really haven't talked too much about it. You know, we did mention Ahsoka's name during the last Ministrav panel, that she was confirmed to be coming, but that was actually even before we'd started work on her. We'd just put her on the schedule. So she was just a little twinkle in the eye, but definitely guaranteed to be winding up in sculpt. And it just so happened that we had the Paint Master Minis in, we thought it would be fun point in time to show these cool characters. It's all relative to your perspective. For us, Q2 of next year is like already come and gone, because that's just kind of how we have to operate so far ahead. I mean, we're already working on stuff past next year at this point. Because, you know, we talk about our timelines a lot and how much work and effort it takes to get these incredible miniatures and things done. And it's a 24-month cycle if we have the amount of time we want to do it really well. You can do some things a little shorter, but every time you shorten that timeline, you potentially run the risk of sacrificing something or, you know, causing problems for yourself down the line. So it's never a good idea to do it too many times, but when it has to be done, you can do it sometimes. Just have to make sure that, you know, the need is truly great. It's like in Rogue One when they send out, you know, the Blue Squadron to go attack the base and potentially reveal their location. They don't do it lightly. You do it only when it's grave. I mean, as far as Armada goes, the last thing we had in terms of things to show at the time is rapid reinforcements. So that obviously released, and Dallas did a little stream showing folks how to potentially some fun ideas on how to repaint their ships. We have the Summa All Things, which I believe will be at Gen Con as one of the events you can sign up for. So if you want to take a look at that, you're going to be in Indianapolis in like 3 weeks. I believe they're running the Summa All Things there. So you can check out that new scenario and organized play kit. If you're not going to be at Gen Con, I believe that kit comes out in October. Probably, maybe September. I think October. So it is on its way. And then outside of those things that have been announced, we of course have Worlds coming back for all the games. Interesting. I'm not going to follow that because I think that's going to be too samey same. So we're going to cheat. I'm going to go off book for this girl, and we're going to do her belt. She's one pose as well. And then, like I said, Worlds will resume for all the Star Wars games, including Armada, at Adepticon 2023. And then the cycle will basically kick off from there for the next version of Worlds, and all the Star Wars games will see tournament kits for stores, retail support kits, for in-store play, that kind of stuff. We're working currently to get reprints and that stuff like we talked about several months ago, I think. I don't remember the last when we talked about the reprint work, but, you know, making sure that really core Armada stock is back in print and available. It's been another one of the big pushes. I know there's been some issues with that as well, so. But it's still very much like we announced initially, there's no big major news for Armada at the moment. There's no major development or product stuff that we're ready to announce, so it's still very much in our minds and we discuss it internally. Week to week. Oh, I missed that part. I know. There's a little gap. It's day 3. Bear with me. My eyes are going a little cross-eyed. Here. We fixed it. Sort of. My paint's getting a little dry. There. I think I got it all now. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention, chat. That's it. I wanted to see if you were paying attention. Okay, what do we want to do for a skirt? I'm going to cheat on this again too, and maybe use a little bit of this tinny bits. I know that the skirt actually isn't like all bronze, but this is just going to make it way easier and quicker because we don't have a ton of time here. So we'll kind of just do that, and I'll get that fold that I missed because I see now that I missed a fold on the skirt. Yeah, it does. Well, a year and a half is, I mean, for those talking about timelines in chat, a year and a half is kind of the minimum. The ideal is 24 months, which is 2 years, is what you really want. Because, yes, you can have a sculpt. A sculptor can make a sculpt pretty quick. You know, it's very variant on the, it's dependent on the sculptor themselves, right? Some sculptors are faster, some sculptors are a little slower. Quality of the work, revisions, making sure that things go through muster, all that. You can do that. It doesn't take 2 years to make a sculpt by any means. But that's like step 1 of 1,000, because once you have the sculpt, you then have to make sure that the sculpt is producible, because it doesn't do anybody any good if you have a beautiful sculpt that can't be engineered and cut into tooling and plastic and then replicated over and over and over again, right? It's kind of like scientific research in a way. Just because it worked once or it works in these very specific conditions doesn't necessarily mean that it's proven science fact, right? It has to be repeatable. And that's what Marco and his team of engineers really work on. And, you know, it's a huge craftsmanship thing for them to kind of figure out. And each sculpt is a little different and poses its own challenges. And there are definitely changes that have to be made. And, of course, you're also talking about every time you make a change or you have to do something, you got to talk to our partners at LFL to make sure that they're okay with it, that it's still representing the character in a way that they're comfortable with and that they feel is true and authentic to the experience. It's not point and click, you know. When you're doing it the way we do it, officially and fully, there's far more steps in the process, you know. Well, I think we all know and understand that when we turn on a light in our house, there's a lot more that goes into it to make that light work than just the bulb or the switch or anything else, right? There's a whole perfect system that occurs that we may never see and we may never fully understand, but it happens. And it's kind of the same with everything, You know? Go into a grocery store and take just 5 seconds to think about everything that has to happen to get that grocery store filled with that much food. It's mind-blowing. Manufacturing, supplies and logistics, all that stuff. It's very different. And the scale is very different. So you always have to be careful when you start applying what you think is true based on false equivalencies. And like Dallas Kemp says, we are always on the hunt for amazing, talented engineers and sculptors. So if you've got a revolutionary way to do things that will make the process faster and make us better, send an email. Holy cow. We would love to talk to you because all we ever want to do is improve. And in my experience, the best way to improve is to always be open to learn from other people and always be curious about things. So that's what we try to do. All right, let's see. Let me remember our girl Asajj's facial tattoos here. So we got the 2 down the mouth. Okay. I think we can do this. I think I can fudge this. I think I can fudge this pretty good. So let's see. So we're gonna come. And we're going to come over here, and I'm going to clean that up. Tighten that up. Tighten that up in a second. And then we have kind of that one. We have kind of this one. And then we have the 2 right here. Shoop. That. A little like purplish eyeshadow. Because her underlids are usually pretty purple. Do that. And then we'll mix a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Doop, 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 doop. Lighten that up. It really just depends on where in the process things are. As far as like card corrections and is it going to be a RAD or FAQ? Is it going to be something else? You know, we try to catch everything possible. We have multiple external proofers. We've got all the playtesters. We do many internal passes, but the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, you're never going to be perfect. And while we always try to improve processes and figure things out to be better, things slip by. And then we always analyze and try to figure out how the best way to adjust those is. Let's see, without having a reference directly in front of me, I'm not 100% on, oh, I broke it. Tattoo, but that's about right. I think I'm just going to sharpen this one up a little bit. And they won't match, but that's okay. All right. Hit that. Do that. I just want to get rid of this. There we go. Ooh, like chunky bump there. I don't know where that came from. the lip. Really accentuate those really sharp features she has. All right. No, I'm gonna have my purple. I'm just gonna edge this tabard in my purple, I think. So much more work on you to do, girl. But that's okay. I think we've accomplished our goal in showing off the world that you exist and are coming are super cool, and there's more info on the way in the future. And many more surprises in store. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's see. Do I have anything else that I want to do in the last 6 minutes? Maybe. But I would have to be able to find the paints that I want. And there we go. No guarantee that'll happen. Let's use a little gray. So now with a little bit of water. See if we can't get a little bit of definition on these wraps. Woo! So dark. Gungans would be too OP, especially with Jar Jar. Talk about the design thoughts about not bringing back some of the upcoming ships via reprints. Well, I mean, currently, we're just starting the reprint process. So I don't know if we can say that anything has been determined as not coming back through a reprint. There's a possibility that that might be the case. And I think part of that is based on a lot of different factors, including, was the ship even popular? Is it a ship that maybe has been removed from the continuity of Star Wars? You know, there's multiple different things. Is it a fan favorite ship? I think at that point, you'll probably wind up seeing it come back in reprints. Is it critical to the faction and can't be replaced in any other way? You know, there's so many questions holistically that you have to look at in regards to a question like that. Nothing's off the table, but just because nothing's off the table doesn't necessarily mean everything is guaranteed, right? So that's just part of the expectations. We're working on reprints. If you watched the X-Wing panel on Thursday or caught it on video on demand or whatever, you'll know that we have announced 3. There are several more beyond that, and that process is going to continue. But yeah, there's a possibility that not everything winds up getting reprinted. Before we started working on the reprints, nothing was getting reprinted. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of Schrodinger's cat. Everything is possible until you know it isn't. And nothing's happening until you know it is. It's just kind of how it has to work, right? But I wouldn't spend a lot of personally, I wouldn't fret a ton yet about things that may or may not be coming back, because we haven't announced what those things are. We've announced what's coming. That's it. Everything else, still on the table until we say it isn't. It's kind of the best I can give you, right? We have plans out through, just started working on 2027 for all of the lines. You know, that's how far ahead we try to plan and work to improve our processes and make everything smooth and excuse me, be the best that we can be. So there's a lot we haven't even spoken of. There are things that are super secret, whispers, not even whispers. There are codenamed things. There are things that Summer doesn't even know about. We have secrets from Summer. I know. On purpose. There are things that Dallas doesn't even know about. There are things that only Simone and I know about. There are probably things I don't even know about. Right? Like, that's just the nature of how far out and long our production process is and how far our thought processes are. So I know, and I would love to live in a world where, like, I could just do my I Dream of Genie Blink and everyone's greatest wishes would be granted right away and we could all live in happy joy. Before I quit, I have to paint her lightsabers. So let's do this. Because I got to play in the lightsaber. So we're going to start with this sweet orange that I mixed up for Ahsoka's skin, actually. Then we're just going to throw some red over it, and it'll hopefully go as a nice little Sithy looking lightsaber. But we can't do that, obviously, you know? Like, we can't make everybody happy and give them everything they want right when they want it. Sometimes, you know, infinite timelines, we might get there. I doubt it. Because people's desires and wants shift and alter. So we do our best to do everything we can that we think is best for all the game lines and for the studio so that we can continue to exist. That's really important. You know, if we do things just to do them, but they don't work out, and then that makes the studio suffer, it makes all the games suffer, right? It's a holistic thing. And it's not always the most fun feeling to have to work that way, but, you know, you make decisions and I'm going to turn on this hairdryer that's not plugged in. Why isn't it plugged in, Summer? I know why. Gunny stole it. Yeah. All right. But, you know, you're always analyzing and looking at things and doing everything you can that's going to be healthiest and best to make sure that, as I've stated so many times before, but is absolutely the truth, that we accomplish our mission of not only making these games exist, but that we make these games thrive and grow and continue on well into the future. There. We didn't get the saber hilts done. Bad on me. I'm out of time. I'm 1 minute over. So, but there we go. There's our Asajj. She came together quite a bit quicker than our Ahsoka. But that's okay. We got paint on both. They're both coming. Pretty exciting. I'm excited to continue to plug away at that Ahsoka and make her look good. I'm sure she'll show up on a stream at some point. With that, thank you so much for joining me. Don't know what's happening next. X-Wing repaints? Oh! Join Michael Plummer, Dallas Kemp, and Simone Elliott for some pretty exciting X-Wing repaints that you can help choose. They're going to be doing Z95 clone headhunters, clone Z95 headhunters in community choice colors. Specifically, pick a Jedi. They'll pick one of the Jedis that is suggested, and they're going to go ham on creating that color scheme on their clone Z95. So check that out. It's going to be right next. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys at closing ceremonies. Till then, have a good one.
All right, I almost put the end scream up early. A couple of things. First thing that I want to lead off with is we did break 300 viewers right before the stream started. I think some of the viewers who were initially disappointed may have dropped out. So I think people who are looking for X-Wing or Armada specific stream dropped out. But we're still about 250 right now, so we're still doing great. So we are going to do giveaways. What I've got, I have I told you it would be an extra big giveaway. I have something, since Ahsoka was involved, I was able to, during the stream, I pulled out some promos, and I do have something roughly Ahsoka inspired. And so we are going to include a promo for each of the 3 games. So give me a hashtag Ahsoka in chat, and before this stream is over, I will shout out who wins, and so that will be a little nice bonus for all you guys in stream right now. Now, we did get Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress for Legion, and so that was one of the predictions we talked about ahead of time, that it was potential Ahsoka, and so I think a lot of Legion players are super happy right now. I am definitely one of them. Out of all versions of Ahsoka, I think Fulcrum Ahsoka from Star Wars Rebels is my favorite version. Specifically when she's fighting the Inquisitors and she just completely owns them, and like it turns off their lightsabers with the Force, and that just shows them what's up. It's like the first time in Rebels we really get to see Ahsoka open up. It is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series of Star Wars Rebels, and so her pose in this is very reminiscent of that battle. So I am a big fan of that. And in a very, very cool thing, I did get the one spoiler out of Will Schick in that, like I said, I hope she has a command card called I'm No Jedi. And she does, and he said it's her 1-pip, which is awesome. Of course, that line taken from her duel with Darth Vader. Lots of great text and lines of dialogue between those two at that time. It is absolutely groovy, super fantastic. I'm really excited. The Legion player in me is super hyped. I did say we would talk about X-Wing and Armada as well. Wasn't much in the way of X-Wing said with this particular stream. So X-Wing players, I mean, you do have new products coming. You've got new scenarios, new card packs, new quick builds. Of course, store championships are coming back, at least for X-Wing. They did not talk about any of the other games with the store championships, so we don't know if those store championships are also coming for Legion and Armada. But yes, let's look forward to the fact that we're at least getting, a dedicated X-Wing has a dedicated lead developer. Michael Plummer is X-Wing's lead developer. They're working on reprints. They're looking at the game. They're definitely, I don't know if they're like completely jumped in the pool. If X-Wing was a pool, I don't think they're completely in all the way up to their belly, but they definitely are at least in up to their knees in X-Wing. It's like they're wading into that pool on X-Wing. They're getting X-Wing content out there, and so some people aren't a fan of the 2.5 rule set. I played it. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but it certainly wasn't game breaking. It didn't feel exactly like X-Wing, but it felt enough like X-Wing. It was still essentially the same game. It felt like a new edition, really. So I really think they should just bite the bullet and call it 3.0 with the new starters when the new starters come out. But I'm guess for whatever reasons exist they're for right now it seems like they're still going to go with 2.5. Whatever, that's fine. It's not a deal breaker for me. The game is still enjoyable, and I think I will play it more when the new standard loadouts come out, because I think that'll make the list building much easier for me. I don't like out of all the 2.5 stuff, I don't like the loadout values applied to each ship, because I feel like I have to find out, I have to more complicate the list building process. So I'm looking forward to the future with X-Wing. I think they're doing things, and hopefully they'll continue to do things with X-Wing. Armada, some people were hoping to get some Armada stuff. So let's talk about the Armada news. Actually, a couple, and I was not the only person in chat asking about Armada. I did poke a little bit of fun though, because Will Schick said something. He said we don't talk about Mara. And I was like, what? And so I said, did you just say we don't talk about Armada? And he's like, no. I said, we don't talk about Mara. He's talking about Mara because somebody mentioned Mara Jade. And so it was an EU reference, Legends reference or whatever. But that kind of got the ball rolling. And I admit, I knew he didn't say Armada, but it sounded a little bit like that. So it's just one of those things that I do. I'm always like, did you just say this? Because it's more funny to prompt a conversation that way. So we did get the Armada conversation rolling, because Will Schick is a great streamer in that he'll actually read comments and answer them, and he's somebody who is in enough authority and has enough knowledge that he can actually speak to just about any question that gets asked. And so he did talk about Armada for some length of time, and I think that this is important. And so, and if you guys, I'm going to get to chat. We'll talk about questions in chat and all of this other stuff. Sakar Ramrod, Sakar Ramrod. Oh gosh, yeah. So, Car Ramrod. All right, there you go. So no, but yeah. So Armada's actually got a little bit of news, and it's strange that like they're not publishing it more. Like for whatever reason, they're not hyping Armada up as much. But the new OP kit, not only do we have the name for it, like at least I wasn't aware of the name for it, and I try to be aware of these things. It's going to be called like a play off the word the sum of all things, the Summa all things, because it's like a Summa or Shuma Gorath. The name of this big creature in the Maw in Castle systems is like a Summa something, and so a little mini. I didn't do mini Crabbok. I didn't find it. I'll recreate a mini Crabbok at one of these days. But thank you for the reminder. Mini Crab was really funny. I'll see what I can do. But so not only is we have a name for the new OP kit, but it is going to be coming to stores in around September, October-ish, and it will be available at Gen Con. So we have new Armada content in like 2 weeks, right? So like that's just crazy. So granted, it's not content for tournaments, but it's still it's a new game format for you to play, a new scenario. So like that's something that's not something insignificant. I'm just surprised we haven't seen more of it yet. I feel like for the other games they tend to hype them up more, and you've got all this Armada stuff, you've got all this content. I feel like they could be doing more with the content. Like they're obviously putting in the work. Rapid Reinforcements was like a mini wave, and I feel like they didn't hype it up. There was a single post, and then there was no more posts about it. And like they put work into that, so I feel like they could certainly be getting more mileage out of the work that was put into it. And of course, obviously, the community will run wild with it. I'll be happy to run wild with it. But I think a lot of folks don't get that lead time that goes into that. You look at Ahsoka, was spoiled today. Ahsoka isn't coming out, and they're anticipating Q2 2023. So you get like a year of lead time. Legion players are going to be hyped about Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress for a year before it comes out, right? That's a year's worth of talking about it, being prepared to drop little spoilers, doing other paint streams, things like that, dropping command cards, doing gameplay demos, giving little teasers to media content, doing interviews, talking to people about the design process and the other things that went into this wave. Again, a year of hype out of this release. Whereas Rapid Reinforcements didn't get any time out of it. It was just like, boom, there it is. So I think in the future, that's something that they should do for Rapid Reinforcements 2. Again, they named it Rapid Reinforcements 1. Rapid Reinforcements 2, they should totally, do like a Rapid Reinforcements stream, customizing your fleets again. But have it be one of the ships that we're like, wait, why is this ship in here? It's an Architans, or maybe something else. Maybe they're doing a CR-90 as a Corvette for the stealth ship or something like that. Painting a CR-90 in Republic colors to do something different, or who knows, but something like that. Tease it that way. This way we get time to hype and speculate, and the media goes crazy, and I of course I'll go crazy with it too. I think that's definitely something they could do. That was something that I put out in the channel, but Will Schick also talked just about all the different stuff that has been going on with Armada. He definitely talked about it in a progressive and positive way, and that it's stuff that they have meetings about, that they talk about. If you thought Armada was dead, basically he put that candle out. It's not dead. It's like it's part of our plans, right? It's a part of the planning process. It's a part of their discussions. It's a part of the process. So obviously, they're not going to say, and the next wave is in the works and will be out and so on and so forth. People want that kind of information, but we didn't get that kind of information. I'm certainly led with the idea of that Armada fans just need to continue to be patient, and things like Rapid Reinforcements are there to kind of hold you over. Hopefully, there will be more of those. Since they named it Rapid Reinforcements 1, that should be an indication that more are coming, although it's not confirmation. There's a difference between an indication and confirmation. So for everybody who wanted more, at least we got something for Armada. I consider that something. It's breadcrumbs, but it's something. And we're going to see this new play kit. I will be at Gen Con, so when this new kit comes out, the Sum of All Things, I'll be there. I'll bring you some coverage of it, okay? Deal? All right. So let's talk about Legion now, the big spoiler. Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress. Now, it is funny because I had heard that Asajj Ventress got dropped by Dallas, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because I didn't watch that stream. I was, I can't watch every single stream. I got to walk away from the computer for a little bit. But yeah. So first off, the sculpts look great. Asajj Ventress with her, holding both sabers behind her. They're parallel. They look great. And then Ahsoka with both behind her, kind of in that battle pose that we see in Star Wars Rebels. Looks great. Here's the details, right? So, in case you didn't say, they're going to have a new keyword called Jarakai Mastery. They're both going to be greatly dependent on dodge tokens and, of course, dodge generation. While they have a lot of similarities like that, in that they're both operatives as well, they will also have some differences. Ahsoka will be more protective type character, whereas Asajj will be more murderous, or basically more aggressive or more attack oriented. Ahsoka will be rebellion only, not Gar. Republic is not getting Ahsoka just yet, but of course they still will. There will be multiple versions of Ahsoka coming out. They said Republic may even get more than one version of Ahsoka. You've got like Snips, and you got little girl Ahsoka, you got teenage Ahsoka. They could do multiple versions potentially. So if you're a Republic player, don't feel bad. You're not being left out in the rain. It's just that Rebellion is getting her first. Also, this is not the Ahsoka from The Mandalorian. This is not the Rosario Dawson Ahsoka. This is a very different Ahsoka. This is the Ahsoka from Fulcrum, from Star Wars Rebels. So that is important to point that out, I think. All right. We know Ahsoka's going to have a one pip called I'm No Jedi. They said they're going to have team up cards, which may be a command card, because they said they'll have 4 command cards and a team-up card. Whether that team-up card is one of those command cards or if it's a separate card, they were kind of danced around that. I'm a little unclear on exactly how the card situation is going to be, but the team-up cards will allow them to reenact cool show moments, and if they're with maybe the right person, and kind of allow you to do something thematic that you may have seen them do on whether it's the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. So I think that's really cool. I could speculate that Asajj might have some kind of team up with Dooku. That could be a thing that happens. I could speculate that perhaps Ahsoka will have a team up with Kanan or Ezra or something to that effect, or maybe Sabine, since Sabine is already in game. That seems to make some sense. So again, very, very cool stuff. But this is also, these are part of a wave. These are not the only 2 things that are going to come out at the same time. There's going to be a whole new wave. There's going to be new commanders. They talked about Gar getting a new commander. There's going to be new commanders out there, and there was a lot of talk about different candidates for Gar commanders. There's lots of different Jedi and lots of different clone commanders and things like that. Nothing really concrete that's been given out. We didn't get any game rule mechanics or anything like that as far as what kind of dice these characters are going to roll, but he did say they could roll a lot of dice, because again, they each have 2 sabers. So I'm guessing, since they have 2 sabers, you might either see just a double, some kind of Darth Maul level of amount of dice that we're looking at, like somewhere in that ballpark is my guess. And it might be, I don't know. I feel like I want to do a whole nother video talking about different ways that they could do that. But I imagine there will be the potential for some big dice pools. We got a super chat from Curly1. What's going on, Curly? Thank you for the super chat. Curly says, do you think it's a possibility we might get Aayla Secura and Commander Bly in Legion? Also, hashtag Ahsoka. You got it. Yes, definitely. So I do think... I think... yes, of course. The answer is definitely yes, although I don't feel like either one of those characters are going to be coming too soon. I feel like Aayla Secura is probably the later on the list, primarily because like I definitely think they want to go with like big name characters, and I think Asajj Ventress and Ahsoka Tano, two of the most widely requested characters, two of the most popular characters in their respective timelines, and maybe across all of Star Wars. And so they were definitely needed to happen. Even if you look at a lot of the Jedi and the named characters, the unique heroes that we have right now, or heroes and villains, right now you're really looking at most of the most popular characters. Some of the ones that are like least popular maybe just have been because they were popular at the time, like the Rogue One wave. You know, like Jyn Erso might not be the most popular Rebel commander, but she was also put into the design process right after Rogue One. So, but if we go back to like Clone Wars was long completed, long before Legion ever came out. So you have like all of this different stuff that can come out from the Clone Wars and the prequel trilogy. I think they're going to be focusing on some more beloved and more recognizable characters for the immediate future. So I think we're going to probably see, I think we'll see like Mace Windu before we see Aayla Secura. And I think, I would go so far as to say we'd probably see Plo Koon before we see Aayla Secura. Primarily because Aayla Secura already exists in the tank, right? And so that's the thing. I think the next, and I think the next clone we're going to see is probably Cody. I think, or the Bad Batch. I think both of those are a little bit like, are probably like first and second, or they're both in like maybe the top 5. You know, there's some more members of Domino Squad I think would be really cool to include, but that might be, you know, that might be a little bit more, you know, quicker to show up. You know, I wouldn't mind I'd love to see Heavy. I'd love to see how they do Heavy in this game too. That's kind of like one of my wish list items, but yeah, so you know, but I think everything is definitely up for grabs, and just because something is popular doesn't mean necessarily that it's coming right away. But I feel like it's a pretty heavy indicator of that. Let's go ahead and do our giveaway right now. Yeah, Bad Batch. Let's go. So let's. Cody would be cool. Yeah, Thrawn is long overdue. I know. I'm going to get to some more stuff, but let's do the... first off, I'll announce what the giveaways are. All right, so first off, for Legion, the giveaway is going to be a double-sided Droideka and Bark. So this is a OP kit from maybe 2019. I'm not sure what year this one's from. Let's see, does it say? Yeah, it is 2019. FFG. All right, so double-sided Legion card. Okay, that's appropriate because it's Legion. We got leading shots, which has, I almost said lead-in, you know, it almost sounds like leading. We got a leading shots, got our Armada promo we're throwing in here as well. And an X-Wing promo. Again, I said we're doing all 3 games. An X-Wing promo is going to be Brilliant Evasion. And by the way, that's Ahsoka's fighter in the art. So I wanted to keep it on point. We picked an Ahsoka art promo for X-Wing. So all 3 of these, and you had to do a hashtag Ahsoka, so that's going to go to Thomas Curtis. You are the current winner of that. Now, if you did not win, don't worry. I have 2 of each of these, and these are also, this whole batch is going to go up in the Discord. So make sure you're in our Discord. Link is down in the description below. So I'm going to put that up in Discord. Now, Thomas Curtis, if you did win, you've got to shoot me an email and give me your, I need your mailing. You know, the little stuff that I put on the envelope. I need your shipping details. So shoot me that in an email, and we'll get the rest of the winners all squared away. Make sure you tell me what you've won too. I've been doing so many giveaways, and I've been getting a lot of emails over the last couple of days, and you know, just it really helps me to, because I've got this, so I don't send you the wrong thing. You don't want to get the wrong thing. You might end up with a moldy piece of cheese in an envelope. Probably not. All right, guys, I'm going to get to a couple more questions, and then we're going to wrap things up. Closing ceremonies are tonight. I will not be restreaming that, but I might be watching along. It's always nice to, you know, just ask some questions when people are kind of loopy and they're exhausted from having a big long con, and they're you know, maybe a little bit more loose-lipped, you know. Wolfie wants Clone Commandos and Delta Squad. Yes, they did talk about Clone Commandos, didn't they? They you know, there's definitely a lot of talk about Clone Commandos, just very in general, like that's Dallas's favorite thing, and so on and so forth. Let's see. Please give a shout out to Neem and Debbie. Neem, and I hope I'm saying that right. Neem McNabb says, please give a shout out to Neem and Debbie. We're such fans. Well, This is fist bump for Neum and Debbie. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's see. Well, Thomas, I'll tell you what. You're moving soon. Why don't you just shoot me an email and I'll hold on to these for you. Once you get a good address, then I'll send them out. Let's see what else we got. I have some other things earlier that I wanted to talk about. The AT-AT compels it. I think they'd love to do an AT-AT, but have no idea how it would even be possible to do it. I agree. It would be fun. We had a lot of good AT-AT talk though. Will Schick always responds when I kind of ask about an AT-AT. And I think they all agree that it would be really, really fun. What would probably have to happen, is my guess, is that it would end up being basically a terrain piece, but that it would double as maybe a scenario or an objective or something like that. Or maybe it even could have a base and actually operate as a unit in the game, and it would just be, not for tournaments, right? Maybe it wouldn't be for tournaments, but is there a way to actually make it so it could be tournament legal? Is there a way? I don't really see that. But then again, it's possible because, hey, we got a Super Star Destroyer in Star Wars Armada that's tournament legal. And they found a way to make it strong but not completely broken. Although at first it was pretty darn strong. Pretty darn strong. But yeah. And Frederick says, yeah, you got an SSD for Armada, so why not? And I agree. Yeah, that's, we're on the same sheet of music there. All right, guys, let me go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you all for hanging out so much. This has been a great stream, and thanks for sharing. We did get over it. We broke that 300 mark, which was really cool. And I'd love to see, hopefully, the Gungans. Maybe by this time next year, we'll have Gungans confirmed as well. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. So say we all. And don't forget to wash yourself.